signage for Metro Telegraph Industrial Park entrance. And this is Tiffus came to this. What the heck they didn't get this out? Was this good out?
Because the owner of the company was on top.
He wasn't there. He didn't vote on it.
Just wondering.
It wasn't enough.
Is he on the board?
Yeah, there were other bids in it. 28,000.
Okay, well, we just didn't get that backup info, so.
Yeah, there was other bids.
I guess we didn't look like there was no other bids the way it was
There's no
presented to
power there,
us.
and it's gonna be solar.
Okay, oh, that's cool.
Shouldn't we have got the bid sheet with it though?
Well, I mean, we're
I
not,
don't see one.
it's a receipt file anyways, but
That would be nice to know though,
it's
just,
just being,
I know
Yeah,
that
just
there
being
was-
silly.
he's on the board, so.
2 other bids on it.
It didn't look good, you know?
Yeah.
Number 24 is motion to approve a 3-year contract with Hydro Corp Incorporated to conduct city cross connection program and administer all the required documents. What are the cross connections? Are they between
This is,
sewers and
this
for the
is
mains?
water, so in a building, you might have a machine that requires water to operate it. This is to go in there to make sure that piece of equipment is protected, so potable water don't get contaminated,
So there's a back.
So like black hole.
the backflow preventer.
Okay.
So, we normally did this in-house, we did it for years in-house. It's not that difficult. My question is, when are we gonna test the ones that are in city buildings?
That would go, we need to go out to bid for that after this bid. What this bid is a company that goes, we have 1,100 stops that they're gonna make. They go out to each of the commercial properties and make sure they even have one, and it's the right one, and they have to be tested annually. And they're gonna do our buildings also. The company, the private companies are required to test them on their own and provide us with the report. We're gonna have to test and repair ours on our own, and that's gonna require to go out to another contract for testing and rebuilding backflow preventers in our city building.
But the private companies were going to require they make the proper repairs. at
They,
their
that's part of this whole program. They're gonna do the whole program. They do everything in this whole program except shut-offs. They send out the letters, they schedule the inspections, they do everything.
So here's the issue I had when I was here working. The building department didn't talk to the water department. So we get someone, a person, Tony coming in and putting up a new building, let's say the roof's coming in. Building department would charge them for the backflow and, you know, all that. The water department never knew it. So they didn't talk to each other. So those things didn't get tested. I know that buildings, our buildings haven't been tested for 4 years, 5 years, because I'm the last one that tested it.
We just had an audit by the DEQ, and this is one of the requirements that we have to have.
Yeah.
My
It's
first
clean water.
2
It's
days
our own
here,
water.
we had a water audit.
Well, what do you not talking? What do you mean by
Well,
that?
they wouldn't communicate, so now I come in, I pull a permit to put, on my plumbing to do a backflow. I have to pull a permit that I'm installing one. And I have to provide, I have to test it. But the water department wouldn't know that. So no,
They would, because they would have either the engineer or the director that sits in the ARC meeting.
but back then they didn't.
Oh, right.
So we.
What
we
the
make-
process that I've used in the other communities, I've worked with Hydro Corp, and they ran both the other communities I ran, they do a fantastic job. We actually, when we had a new commercial building go in, we would actually bring Hydro Corp in there to inspect it to make sure that it's the right backflow preventer and it's also in the correct spot. And if you look at the prices we got, it's only, they're only charging us at $1,100.
How come we only got one, how come we only got one person to bid on this? I don't see any
Well,
other
if there's
bids.
only one person that bid, it may be
It's
because
very
they do have
specialized.
kind of a market on here. They do most cities. The
Yeah,
county
they're
used to
very
do them,
specialized.
and they got out of the business, and the county doesn't even do it
But see,
anymore.
we had somebody that could do we did all that, all in-house.
Yeah, we don't have the personnel anymore to do these. It's not just doing the inspection, it's doing the follow-up also. There's a lot of record keeping to do this. It's not just going in there, you gotta schedule it, and if they're not there, and then when you do write them up, you have to do a follow-up inspection to make sure that they are doing their testing. And that's why they said they do everything except for the water shut-off, because as a last resort, what they do is if they don't have it tested, they don't have it tested after many letters that go out, they actually have a standard letter they send, they would probably send me, that says, hey, we tried to get you to do this, now you're not doing it, we're gonna shut your water off. And that's actually the last resort. And that's what the city does, the city would send that letter.
And that's what we had. We had one girl, that's what she did, was the backflow program. Plus, when she wasn't busy, she would do the other ones. Because she would do it mostly in the spring, because you want to get it after they turn on for the sprinkler systems, because those have to be tested every year.
Correct.
And she would send out a letter saying, hey, it's not tested, we're going to shut your water off. So we have all that in the system somewhere.
There's another caveat to this whole thing too, is that the DEQ, the Safe Drinking Water Act, is actually referring to the plumbing code, which requires you to do residential properties. And
Every 3
we're
years.
gonna be forced at some point by the state to also inspect residential properties. At this point, after our meeting, we're only doing the commercial, but there is gonna be in the near future, in the next couple of years,
Well,
that we're gonna be required to do the.
I have another question. Maybe Jason can answer, because I only see that there was an invitation to bid sent directly to this company. Was this put on Minton? I don't see any other.
I asked the
competitive
city
bidding.
manager, and he said that everything was put on Minton for required timeframe. No one did that.
Okay.
So the residential thing right now is at every 3 years
In the plumbing code,
in the plumbing code.
but we have
That's
none at
what-
all.
That's going to be changing real soon, because I have to go take another test to upgrade my license. It's going to be every year.
And that's gonna be expensive to do that. The requirements right now to build a database for the residential.
So, and that's where the building department comes in too.
Yep.
You know, we need to.
And I've already talked to the building department about, on the REACs, that we have a record of doing backflow prevention inspections.
Don't these businesses participate in some of this cost? that we
Yeah,
are-
well,
It's,
what this company does is they go out and they identify, they go, yep, there's a backflow there for that piece of equipment, it's the right one, it's low hazard, high hazard, it's the right one. And then they tell them to call me or somebody else to do the inspection. So they end up paying $140 for somebody to come out, test it, and inspect it.
this portion, in the last two communities I were in, they were rolled into the water rates as part of the water rate package.
Part of the what?
Water rate.
Oh, water.
Yeah, in the last two communities I went in, we discussed this, and it went into the
But
water
if we
rates.
find a business that doesn't have the backflow preventer, or it's inappropriate,
Then they send a letter out, say it must be put in, and they give them a time frame to put it in.
Okay.
And then they they follow up with that, and then if it doesn't get done within that time frame, they send us a letter to threaten them with a shut-off notice, to shut the water off if you don't put this on.
Oh.
But commercial properties know they have to do this, they've been getting away with it for several years, so.
If you do.
Okay. Well, that's your
It's a,
Sheriff, if I could add on to Councilwoman Crowell's question, you know, you guys all have access to Minton as well too. It's open to the public, if you'd like to see any open bids. But we put this bid on 8/15. And I think the close date was 9/6. So, I mean, we only got one bid in, so I asked Richard about it, like, why do we get so bid? And he just said that there's no one out there that's bidding on these kind of services, so. So if you have any questions on whether it's out there, what's open, what's closed bids, Minton is access to the public, so.
Okay, and Councilman Garza has a question too.
Sorry, what is your name? I'm just Keith. Okay. I just had a question. You said for 2 other communities, you've seen the same company.
I've worked with them, yes, I have.
Is this around the same rate that they used in those cities?
It's pretty close,
Is it close?
yeah, it's within dollars.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, thank you.
Okay,